Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving straight in to tackle a universally frustrating experience. You know the one. You're carrying on just fine, living your life, and then out of nowhere, bam! Your brain absolutely forces you to watch a throwback episode of your old heartache. We've all been there, right? One minute, you're just going about your day, and the very next, you're mentally replaying the past, checking their socials, or maybe, just maybe, contemplating reaching back out.
So it really begs a fundamental question. Why do we do it? Why do our minds automatically queue up Your Ex, the series, without ever giving us that little "Are you still watching?" prompt to snap us out of it? Why in the world do we subject ourselves to this exhausting mental loop when we know for a fact that things ended because they absolutely had to end?
Well, honestly, it all boils down to false hope. It's exactly like rewatching The Vampire Diaries and holding your breath, hoping Elena and Damon will magically work it out this time around, even though you already know they're just going to break up again in season 5. Your heart somehow forgets the script, but your brain is just desperately hoping for a rewrite. The sad statistical truth is that most couples who reunite just end up breaking up again. You are essentially signing up for Grey's Anatomy levels of relationship drama, but sadly, without the attractive doctors and dramatic hospital hallways. Nope, it's just you, your phone, and a whole lot of painful what-ifs.
And let's be real, pop culture delusions certainly don't do us any favors here. Television loves to tell us that toxic couples like Ross and Rachel from Friends are quote-unquote endgame. But the inevitable truth of modern society? Today, they'd almost certainly just end up divorced with joint custody of Emma. Real life just doesn't tie up neatly in a 30-minute sitcom bow.
The deep irony of this whole situation is that we live in a modern dating world where we literally have endless new streaming options for connection. I mean, it's like having Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max, and Disney Plus all sitting right at your fingertips. And yet we ironically trap ourselves. Why stick with one old show when you can binge watch something entirely new? Because, well, it's easy to fall back into what's familiar. We keep binging the old show we've already seen 100 times instead of putting in the work to build something new.
So, the core issue we have to tackle is letting go. Letting go of a toxic past or an old heartache is fundamentally the one thing that will actually make us happier, but man, it is incredibly difficult. It's the classic pink elephant problem. If I tell you right now, whatever you do, do not think about pink elephants, suddenly that is literally all you can see in your mind's eye. Trying to force yourself to forget someone usually just highlights their memory even more.
Listen, if your brain keeps replaying these painful memories, like it's stubbornly preparing for a massive Marvel Cinematic Universe marathon, I need you to hear this. It is not because you are weak. It isn't because you are fundamentally broken. And trust me, your ex is definitely not worth that many sequels. This is actually happening because of the very specific way your brain is wired to protect you.
Neurologically speaking, your brain isn't broken at all. It just has genuinely terrible timing. See, it categorizes intense emotional relationship experiences as vital survival information. So, while you're just standing in the kitchen trying to remember where you left your car keys, your brain is busy analyzing exactly how your ex looked at you that one time at dinner, genuinely believing it needs this data for your future survival.
Because your brain genuinely means well, it really thinks it's doing you a massive favor by playing these old warning tapes to help you avoid future pain. But in reality, it's exactly like a friend who proudly shows up to help you move 3 months after you've already unpacked and settled into your new place. It's super well-intentioned, but completely unhelpful for where you are right now.
We also really have to validate this part. Those moments where the laughter and tears are happening simultaneously are incredibly hard to let go of. The memory of a stupid joke only the two of you would get, or the comfort of a hug you can no longer feel, your brain isn't just trying to torture you. It is fiercely holding on to what was once your safe space. And you know what? It is entirely okay to grieve the loss of that comfort, even if you know deep down the relationship was entirely wrong for you.
But eventually you just get tired of it, right? If you are exhausted by the endless emotional loop, the restless nights, and the completely random, unexpected triggers, it takes real physical action to stop it. Not just sitting around waiting for time to pass, but actively canceling this unwanted subscription. You have to literally snatch the remote back.
All right, let's dive into the brutally honest truth of what not to do. Avoiding these specific pitfalls is absolutely crucial because otherwise you're just going to keep resetting the clock on your own healing. Consider this your definitive do not watch list.
First up on that list, the sudden fling. Let me tell you, using a sudden fling to get over an ex is a fundamentally terrible idea. You'll just end up feeling guilty, comparing this brand new person to your ex, and tangling up your life with someone else's feelings while you are still a complete mess. You're basically trying to cure a headache by hitting yourself in the head with a hammer. It's a distraction, not a solution.
Tomorrow, you're just going to have a much bigger headache and a really awkward text to send.
Next up on the list, the unsent draft. Oh, you know exactly the one I'm talking about. It's that long, deeply emotional text you've drafted in your head about 50 times now. Listen to me, write it down, get it all out, scream it into a pillow if you have to, but do not send it to them. Sending is just begging for a hit of connection that will never, ever actually satisfy you. It's a trap, and it just resets your healing back to zero.
Which brings us to a strict neurological necessity. Muting and blocking them on social media isn't about being petty, not at all. It is literally required to create clean, quiet space for your mind to actually heal. Think about it. You simply cannot get over an addiction if you keep a little bit of the drug right there in your pocket. Out of sight, out of mind isn't just a catchy phrase, it's real science here.
So now that we know exactly what to avoid, let's talk action. Here is your actual physical game plan for today. We've broken it down into 4 highly achievable steps that you can start right this second.
Step 1. The memory purge. Get a physical box and put all the photos, the little gifs, even that oversized t-shirt you still sleep in, put it all into that box and tape it firmly shut. You don't necessarily have to throw it away, just get it completely out of your sight. This physical act utilizes the powerful symbolism that your brain absolutely loves, cementing the fact that this chapter is officially closed.
Step 2. Write it all out. Grab a pen and write down the good, the bad, the I miss yous, the I hate yous, the thank you for the memories, and the I literally wish we never met. Put it all on paper in a letter you will never, ever send. Then, fold it up and drop it in that taped box. You have to give those heavy feelings a permanent home outside of your own head.
Step 3. Now, I know everyone says this, but it is pure science. Heartbreak is a massive physical stress that absolutely floods your bloodstream with the stress hormone cortisol. You have to physically move your body to burn it off. Go for a run and pretend you're running from your feelings, lift something heavy, or just aggressively dance in your room. You literally have to sweat that sadness completely out of your soul. And finally, step 4, reconnect to your bigger story. Reach out and connect with someone who loves you for you. A best friend, a parent, a sibling. Remind yourself that you existed before your ex. You are absolutely going to exist long after them, and your core identity is not tied to that single, isolated chapter of your life. Your story is so much bigger than them. Now, I do have to give you a brutally honest disclaimer here. Healing is messy. It is so incredibly messy, and it is definitely not a straight line. Even years later, long after you've moved on, maybe moved cities, or even built a whole family, those painful what-ifs can still hit you out of nowhere. You might briefly wish for a rewind button to change it all, but you just have to deal with it, day by day.
But hey, if you need a little bit of magic to hold on to during those really hard days, think of it kind of like the beautiful anime film Your Name. Maybe everything feels like a dream, and perhaps you'll meet each other again in a different form or a different timeline, if that thought brings you comfort. Or honestly, much more likely, you'll simply find someone new who never ever leaves you wondering where you stand. Ultimately, you just have to remember that you are perfectly, beautifully human. The fact that this lingering pain is still there, it simply means you loved deeply. It proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that you have the beautiful capacity to leave and receive a lasting impact. That mark is not a scar to hide. It's absolute proof of your immense capacity to feel.
Your brain might try, maybe one last time, to offer you some 50% off discount to return to that painful past. But one day very soon, you will wake up realizing you made it through the whole night and they never once crossed your mind. That right there, that is the beginning of everything. So, are you finally ready to click no thanks and cancel that subscription for good? I promise you, you've got this.